issues that affect our country and continent, only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan. Your eye on South Sudan. Welcome to the Sundown Show. On this show, we bring you the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. Stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
أهلا ومرحبا بكم في برنامج Sundown على iRadio. في البرنامج ده بنستضيف شخصيات بارزة ومؤثرة من جنوب السودان ومن حول العالم، وبنتحدث معاهم عن القضايا اللي بتهم بلدنا وبتأثر على حياتنا. كمان بنتطرق في القصص خلف الأخبار وبنتبادل الأحاديث الخفيفة عن حياتنا اليومية. شاركونا، كونوا جزء من البرنامج فقط على iRadio، عينك على جنوب السودان.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madrama James. Today is Wednesday, 22nd of October 2025. We begin this show by exploring the political landscape where the SPLM has condemned Nial Deng Nial's recent announcement of plans to establish a new political party. Speaking at a press conference this morning at the SPLM National Secretariat in Juba, Bol Makwe Yual, the party's secretary for political affairs, mobilization and organization, dismissed Nial's claim as unfounded and reaffirmed that the SPLM remain committed to its vision. Bol criticized Nial Deng Nial's a former senior political member, urging him to stay clear of provoking that's violent among South Sudanese. Instead, he encouraged Nial to register a political party and participate in the upcoming elections rather than forming a movement that opposes democratic principle. This response comes after Nial launched the South Sudan Salvation Movement Triple SM, accusing the transitional government of blocking elections to prolong its stay in power. McQueen emphasized the SPLM's dedication to unity, peace, and development, calling on members, veterans, and citizens to reject divisions and work collaboratively towards a better future.
The Sudan People's Liberation Movement, SPLM, received with a profound shock the declaration made on social media by one of its senior members, Honorable Nial Deng Nial, on 15th October 2025. Honorable Nial Deng has been a distinguished and a senior member of the SPLM since its inception, having held numerous key positions within the movement, the government of South Sudan, and the government of the Republic of South Sudan. Within the party, Honorable Nial served as a member of the Political Bureau and the National Liberation Council. In the current government, he serves as a member of the revitalized Transitional National Assembly, representing the SPLM. Honorable Nial was one of the leading negotiators for the SPLM during the Naivasha peace talks that culminated in the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, CPA, signed on 9th January 2005. This landmark agreement secured the right to self-determination for South Sudan, leading to the 2011 referendum and eventual independence. Between 2005 and 2008, in the government of South Sudan, he served as Minister of Regional Cooperation, the equivalent of Foreign Affairs. From 2008 to 2011, following the tragic death of Honorable Dominic Deng in a plane crash, Honorable Nial was appointed Minister of SLA and Veteran Affairs, replica of the current Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs. Post-independence, Honorable Nial held several significant portfolios, including Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Presidential Affairs, Presidential Envoy, and Chief Negotiator on behalf of the government for the implementation of the revitalized agreement on the resolution of conflict in South Sudan, RRCS, and the Rome peace process. It is therefore surprising and deeply disappointing that his defection and the subsequent formation of South Sudan Salvation Movement (SSM) are premised on allegations of government failure to protect lives and property, lack of a comprehensive disarmament strategy, rampant corruption, and economic erosion. Fellow comrades, ladies and gentlemen, it is disheartening that Honorable Nial seeks public sympathy by blaming the government for recurring inter- and intra-tribal conflicts, citing lack of disarmament, logistical support to the army as the root causes. We remind the public that from May 2008 to July 2011, Honorable Nial himself was a minister in charge of the defense docket, the SPLM and Veteran Affairs. By then, his tenure coincided with widespread communal violence, which claimed many lives, including conflicts in Jonglei State, Nuer Dinka conflict, Dinka Morle conflict, Morle Nuer conflict, and clashes in 2009. Warab State conflicts include Gorial East and Greater Tonj in 2010. Also Lakes State with multiple community clashes in 2010. When South Sudan was engulfed in violence during his watch, what comprehensive security strategy did Honorable Nial propose or implement? Instead, he was frequently absent from the country, reportedly traveling to London to attend Arsenal football matches, leaving the president to personally intervene in the conflict's hotspots. Our question is about whether Honorable Nial has ever visited these affected communities or engaged in meaningful with them. In his tenure, the economy was good. The soldiers used to get their salaries on time, and the defense budget accounted for 40% of the national budget by then. Further, it is surprising that as a sitting member of the revised Transitional National Assembly, whose mandate includes legislation and government oversight, Honorable Nial chooses to point fingers at a tiny political elite surrounding the president, accusing them of diverting oil revenues through inflated infrastructure contracts. If Honorable Nial possesses substantive evidence, he should have introduced a private member's bill to summon relevant ministers, finance and planning, petroleum, justice and constitutional affairs, and roads and bridges to investigate and address these allegations transparently. Honorable Nial also asserts that both the SPLM and SPLMIO are deliberately delaying implementation of RRCS to avoid free and fair elections due to fear of losing. We categorically reject this claim. Neither the SPLM chairman nor the leadership fears electoral competition. The SPLM has prepared thoroughly for the 2024 elections, as witnessed by regional endorsements and the SPLM Renaissance Mission. The parties to RRCS agreed on a roadmap extending elections to December 2026, and this reflects a consensus on timelines. The SPLM, in its consultations with the leadership, is prepared for elections in 2026. In addition, the SPLM also directed its members in the Transitional National Assembly to expedite the recommendations of the Election Commission so that the elections are held on planned time in South Sudan. Fellow comrades, ladies and gentlemen, Nial's decision to temporarily freeze his SPLM membership until the party is fit for purpose is shameful, especially considering that he has already declared the formation of his own party, the South Sudan Salvation movement, SSSM. His claim that the SSM is merely a temporary vehicle to reclaim control of the SPLM from those who have hijacked and held it captive for so long is both discriminatory and demeaning. If there any political party composed solely of its founding members, Nial Deng Nial was always part of the government until October 15, 2025, when he publicly defected from the SPLM. The SPLM does not discriminate against members for not being founding members. This is why there is a strong effort to mobilize and recruit members to the SPLM. Every SPLM member has the right to be elected or appointed to any government position. What is most perplexing is when a movement intended as an internal reform engine within a party becomes aligned with opposition parties. Membership in a political party is terminated when a member publicly defects or opposes its policies and objectives or forms a different political party. Therefore, from the moment of his declaration, Nial Deng Nial ceased to be a member of both the SPLM and the revitalized Transitional National Assembly. This is what the SPLM constitution says. Regarding claims of broken party hierarchy and the inclusion of new members who did not participate in the liberation struggle, the SPLM Renaissance Mission and the subsequent ordinary sitting of the National Liberation Council were precisely aimed at reforming the party. The political bureau endorsed expansion of its membership, enacted a code of conduct and disciplinary procedures, and financial management rules and regulations in December 2022. The National Liberation Council unanimously empowered the SPLM chairman to restructure the party, leading to the appointment of additional deputy chairpersons and deputy secretary generals. Honorable Nial was part of these reforms, and it is therefore unfortunate that he now alleges illegal removal of SPLM leaders. On economic transformation, the SPLM envisions agriculture as the backbone of South Sudan's economy. In 2016, under the current leadership of the SPLM chairman and president, an agricultural project was launched to make South Sudan a regional food basket, moving away from oil dependency. This included procurement and distribution of 500 tractors to the then 28 states as a pilot to boost agricultural productivity. The failure to effectively implement this project at the state level is not attributable to the SPLM chairman, but to the beneficiaries' inability to manage the initiative. Fellow comrades, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Nial claimed that the SPLM lost its vision after Dr. John Garang's death, and that SPLM chairman, Comrade Salva Kiir, abandoned the party's original mission. This assertion is unfortunately incorrect. Following Dr. Garang's sad passing in July 2005, Comrade Salva Kiir steadfastly carried forward the vision and mission of the liberation struggle. The Comprehensive Peace Agreement faced a serious threat of collapse, largely due to provocations by the National Congress Party. They sponsored numerous militia groups with the aim of destabilizing South Sudan. However, through the wise leadership of Chairman Salva Kiir, these militias were integrated into the SPLA, effectively neutralizing the enemy's tactics. This strategic move paved the way for the successful referendum that ultimately led to the birth of the Republic of South Sudan. Despite this betrayal by many founding members of the SPLM during the 6 years of implementing the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, each seeking to usurp power, Salva Kiir's unwavering commitment to the vision was instrumental in achieving South Sudan's independence, despite ongoing provocations. It is important to highlight that Honorable Nial appears unaware of South Sudan's current political landscape when he calls for additional political space. What he may not realize is that the SPLM supports a multi-party democracy, evidenced by the existence of 29 registered political parties and 25 unregistered political parties in the country, some of which have minimal or no membership an influence at all. After winning the 2010 elections decisively, SPLM shared government positions with smaller parties, granting them executive roles despite their electoral losses. Honorable Nial also urges the acceleration of a permanent constitution developed through broad-based participation by South Sudanese citizens. What he may not know is that the National Constitutional Amendment Commission is actively traveling across the country, engaging with communities to gather input on the desired content of the Constitution, including what should be added or removed. This process clearly demonstrates a genuine commitment to drafting an inclusive and representative Constitution of South Sudan. Finally, it is regrettable that Honorable Nial invokes the plight of veterans, claiming neglect by the government to garner support for his movement. When he and his colleagues had power, they never advocated for vacating their positions to allow veterans a chance to serve as ministers or in leadership roles. As Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, what concrete strategies did Honorable Nial design and implement to improve veterans' welfare? His current mobilization of veterans on grounds of neglect is disingenuous. In conclusion, the SPLM leadership reforms initiated by the President aims at empowering young leaders and youth as stakeholders in South Sudan's future. Many of these young leaders, once part of the Red Army, Gauge Armor, or logistical supporters during the liberation struggle, have matured into seasoned leaders. The 2022 SPLM Renaissance and Leadership Reform were designed to ensure that the leaders of tomorrow have their rightful place today. Dear comrades, ladies and gentlemen, the SPLM remains committed to unity, peace, and development in South Sudan. We urge all the members, veterans, and citizens to reject divisions and work together for the country's progress. Moreover, we advise Honorable Nial to organize his new party along democratic lines and to distance himself from any tendency to cause violence among South Sudanese. We don't want South Sudanese to die again.
However, after reviewing the SPLM six-page position paper, opportunity were provided to various media outlets to ask questions. Now, journalists ask Bol about the accusation of mobilizing armed groups, arbitrary arrest, and the systematic strategies allegedly used by the SPLM party to block the country's path to democratic election. Here's what Bol Makwen had to say in this exclusive speech.
Nial has formed his political party, and he says he's going to work under the United People's Alliance of those of Pagan and those of Malum and those of Stephen Boy. These people have their armies. They are not democratic people. And so by extension, Nial is also recruiting himself into a violent group that does not need to get power through democracy. So this is very clear, and actually it may not need rocket scientists to make an interpretation. That's what it is. There's no one that has been arrested as far as I know now. And also, SPLM does not arrest people. You get this one right. If anybody is arrested by the government that has the monopoly on legal system. So we don't arrest people. Let it be clear from today, even when he's arrested, it is not the SPLM that arrests people. SPLM will never arrest anybody. If anybody is arrested, then is arrested by organs of the government that are concerned with the crimes and security. The other one, about the SPLM avoiding elections, I think it is a common thing. SPLM went out in 2 regions last year, and Comrade Salpa was endorsed in Bahr el-Ghazal and also in Equatoria, and then we are also preparing to do the same in Afra Nile. And that was because we were ready for elections. And even today we are ready for elections. Where did the problem come from? With that one, the main contender, our partner, the SPLM-IO, refused to legitimize itself by registering, because the first prelude for any political party to play democratic elections is for this party to register in the political parties council. That's a requirement. And up to now, IO is not registered. They are not registered as a political party. And this is what the appeal we were making before when we were saying, if our son, Brother Nial, is to play politics by forming his political party, he is free to come into South Sudan. He can register his political party and he can campaign, because the differences among people will be reflected in the political programs. The people of South Sudan will have their choice of the leaders they want. And this is why we are free. And you may recall, we have 54 political parties. 29 are registered, 25 are not yet registered. We are even encouraging that small portion of 25 to be registered if they want to be active politically. Otherwise, you will be like an agitator to roam about and tell people this when you are no longer following the democratic norms. And this is why we need that. As we talk, we have done two things as preparation for elections. We have formed the political parties council with an act that allows any political party to register. We have also the election commission that will carry on with this process by educating the people of South Sudan, the voter education, and also establishing offices in the whole of South Sudan. And they have done a lot, in fact. So, at each time we are talking about elections, the handicap, things which were used, were things which do not make sense. They were saying the population census was a requirement. That one was something, it was an activity to be done during the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. It was not a condition that people must go or not go for elections as a result of that. And so we are saying let one be delinked. The other thing also, besides the population census, was the return of refugees and IDPs. We are also saying that refugees left the country voluntarily. If they want to come, it is they who are convinced that they need to come. If they don't want to come, you don't force them to come. Because even the refugees that left the country during Ranyanya, before some of you were born, are still outside the country. Some are Americans, some are East Africans, and they went out as refugees. During this war of struggle of the SPLM, there were also some people who left the country, did not come back. And there will be no single day that everybody will be inside the country. For instance, when we conducted elections in 2010 and we did a referendum in 2011, there were certain articles of the CPA that were not implemented. The Abia issue, until today, was not done. The boundary demarcation was not done. The popular consultations in Southern Kordofan and Southern Blue Nile were not done. And if we were to wait for those things, we would have not even conducted a referendum that gave birth to South Sudan as an independent country. So we need really to be careful. Overall, we don't want a South Sudanese to die in the hands of another South Sudanese. Let us dialogue, let us talk. If you are not happy with a particular party, move out peacefully, establish your political party and continue propagating for your ideas. Because the people of South Sudan will choose between the programs of the political parties, and the political party that has the best program that addresses their needs will be the party that they will choose. That's what I can tell you. Thank you.
Well, that was Bol Makweng Ayual, the party's internal affairs secretary, responding right there. Up to here, dear listener, it's your turn now to grab that cell phone and share your opinion with us, as you have heard that the SPLM party has encouraged other political parties to register and participate in the upcoming election rather than forming a movement that opposes democratic principle. The big question is, how can a democratic process be fostered and advanced in South Sudan? As you have heard, out of the 54 political parties in the country, only 29 are registered and 25 others are not registered. Share your thought with us this time around.
It's a Baghdad Diamond Wenisuma iRadio على نمرة التليفون 0911 أو تبيرسل رسالة على نمرة 0913
All right, iRadio.
مساء الخير iRadio.
مساء النور كوتشوك.
شكرا لك كثير. أنا بعيش في الاستديو وتهيأ لكل المستمعين.
نعم.
أخوي أنا بشكرك وبشكر إذاعة iRadio وبشكر برضو زول بتاع العلاقات الخارجية لسالم. أنا بقول كالآتي. موضوع بتاع نيال دين نيال أنا بشوف لنا سالم يعني زول ده يعني هو بيحب سالم كثير. كله بيتكلم بحاجات بدل أقول على سالم تقعد يقوم يرسل خطاب أو اتهامات بتاع نيال دين نيال. وانا بشوفه ممكن يكون حل يعني يراجعوا من عمايل بتاعهم يصحي اخطاء بتاعهم دول يكون منتخب حساب. ناس ثانيه لما سجل كثير تكلم في الموضوع بتاع الاقتصاد، تكلم في الموضوع بتاع الامن في جنوب السودان، تكلم في الموضوع بتاع فساد، وتكلم في الموضوع انه اسالم ده ذاته ما في ديمقراطيه فوقه. خلي يكون انه العسكر زي ما هو موجود، ناس كانوا مشوا 21 سنه كان بيقولوا انا سواء وعداله. خلي يكون في عداله في اسالم، خلي يكون في ديمقراطيه في اسالم، يكون في حاجات كثير زي ما اخونا نيال دايما الكلام فوقه. نيال دايما له حق يعملوا له فاس او يعملوا عموما ده حق بتاعه مع جنوبي. اذا في اخطاء في اسالم ما بكون يقول اسالم اجباري. اسالم مفتوح لاي زول ممكن اخش فوقه، لكن يكون في منفذه كويس يعني منفعه للشعب الجنوبي. اذا اسالم انفرد طلع من المسار بتاعه ومشى لمسار ثاني اي زول انه حق ينفع من اسالم يعني ما يكون مشكله. فالمشكله يكون في بيت سالم، خلي اسالم يفرج البيت بتاعه كويس ويخلي المشاكل بتاعه قاعد فوق ويرجع لطريقه سليمه للجنوب. الشعب الجنوبي زي ما كان الشعب في زمان 21 سنه من اجل انه يعرف الشعب الجنوبي كانوا مظلومين. اصلا شعب جنوبي مظلومين اكثر من اللزوم يا اخي العزيز في الاستديو ده. شعب جنوبي جارت اقابات بمشاكل اسالم. اسالم بيجوا يضرب شعب بطيران. اسالم بيجوا جوا شعب اصلا في جنوب السودان. اسالم ما في مرتبات بتقول عامله في الدوله. اسالم ما في مدرسه، ما في صحه كويس في 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 في, في المستشفيات، ما في دواء، ما في تعليم. حاجات اللي اسالم ما عنده. وده نيال لمس حاجات ده اقوى بشوفهم هم يقرروا كثير نيال ده نيال. هم يقولوا كاسالم يراجعوا في حسابات نفس اتفاقيه سلام يصير جنوبيين كجنوبيين واعي حتى جنوبيين متفرقين. جنوبيين ايزر ماشي في الاتجاه بتاعه وناس فرتقوا ايزر ماشي في القبيله بتاعه. فجنوب السودان فرتق بيد اسالم. خلاص اسالم يقعد يراجع نفسه من العمايل بتاعه ده ويشوف ان جنوب السودان مستقبل بتاع جنوب شنو. شكرا.
شكرا أخونا كوشوك. نعم دي جزء من حياة القبيلة أننا نسمع بساد من SPLM قال من بناشد من political parties قال من عنده حق عشان كيف تبقدر فورم بارتي بتاعك وبارك دين نيال دين نيال يجي برضو كمان في جوبا يعني بروسيس الكله يكون قال بطريقة القانون دير. مثال قال في 54 political parties لكن منهم لبس 29 سجل بpolitical party council لكن 25 ده ما سجل. ومن كمان بناشد باقين الكل يجي لو دير بارو كمان كش في انتخابات باب مفتوح. تبقول شنو حل بروسيس بعملوه في داخل جنوب السودان. اي راديو. Yes, Joseph.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening. You sound low. Is it phone or network?
Maybe network, yeah. All today I'm okay.
That's good.
My brother, it is good program you have this time. And
Are you? Sorry, Akuna Joseph, we are not really getting you. You can still get back to us on 0911-229-86 and share your thought with us. SPLM party has encouraged other political parties to register and participate in the upcoming election rather than forming a movement that opposes democratic principles. Now, how can democratic progress be fostered or advanced in the country? I read you.
Madrama jeni.
Joseph Konyi.
Ana silimita anagasi.
Shukran jazilan.
Ana kaman wadi kukara leka vijigna topi ya fasidi. Tanganna je president dawla de. Narajen kaman de kala ya onna lagi kebele dawla kitana. Kalam abu harna bol nyal kalam de. Kalam de kulu hagiya. Hatta na sakuma la samon fi. Asa ta akuma de. Unaro kalam de bagi yao jetta kalam de yao da. Bes lakin fi mushkila wa lenne yijin marat zon kangar ta akuma zon itamat biar galete mushkila sirajidan. Dema jakwe yana duka shogal ta takun tanazo duka shinina ita warna bol ita ena barlaman ita ena kida ita kondas bigi university da ita bigi na ga sakit matum bigi na ga zanda da iron problem kan tin yelo ba iron out ya antin misol
naam asi tabaruf Joseph SPLM party bugol gallo min kinta der form political party kha Joseph bab moftu taali isajelu boko be political party council ashan kef tabiyak derem shigidam sala fi intikabat lekin ma dururi ashan ta form party bitake batuya kaman bijaje mashakil party de kaman ma bishtakal betriga al demokratia tabugol bedap shunu kaman ya mulushunu ashan kef bagi party sanindel barru isajel
bes wata bandera ya kwe la sina na ita bayano yani nature aje de sikum tabele dan Allah yol brasi gilu bes in peace de da to not abere asa mafana me ganna silu de na form bare na wuta anda mo party ana gora segirre ana fi juwa ku na san solo sa de gulu bidawali juwa lean de bel bol su de takel la ita gan drama ta derra se idara mo farka ke uda kan su farka ke da genen mun
naam it binashit shunu ashan kev lo zol baden der sajelu party bito mai da kalu fi juwa bedap
ana dere yani je ma kuma woni su salambe kede woni su karante woni su kede intu men ma bel woni su de kasna mu fi gel baset ita arab de sajjala la mo morta de intellectual kitana de mustaqbil na da jinubde every go zone of Harnable, every go zone that president, every go zone Kida, zone Kidil, all government figure, national figure, I mean. That beginning people on data, ma, Bakul, Bamu, one, Siroba, one, or Gabriel Sirobara, all that get a go, we get a bin in Bed, we get a governor, we get a burden in South Sudan. Buron to Batal, Buron to Hadiga. Kalam mimba bigo kala juga bara manta mun su kalam do zamana ita ita kan bigo kon sonde kan kalam de sala talaw jama an la kadi miten yani min tele hospital bi jere bara ela bro su batal le bere min bara ema haja ko anna gele lan manal anna fi anna fi this all that anna jatu anna jiri all that anna kida anna kede mun su Pasan ta dur kan na bara kampi kalam kirinna wuli fu sol kalam de fi tarbiya ta family o kaman kuma beta wata ne kan kontar opinion gali keda mola de keda ma anu sol le gari le jita kuma kala in keda anu sol le ganu bila bu other future abelende
shukran kuna Joseph Okonye was at Musharaka. We have a couple of your messages via that's our Facebook page, W. Christopher George saying, hello, Madrama James, I'm watching you live from Western Equatoria State, Yambio. Then we have Akan Wanaho Levi. He's joining us from Uganda. I don't know which district or sub-district you watching us from. We have Momanyo Manyok is watching us from Meridi County. Thank you. David Kwal, thank you so much. You say hi to iRadio's family. And now we have Julius, who is also reacting to one of the comments shared earlier on by Bol Magwek, that he is sorry to hear that the ruling party has said that the encouraging agriculture development, and if so, why citizens are still in poverty and importing most of the food items from neighboring countries such as Uganda and Kenya. Away from that, we have Samuel Appet, that Yellow Eye Radio. I am watching you live in that Wedwill in Will West County of Northern Barkazal State. Julius joins us live from Gumbo, Souk. Thank you. Justin Peter live from Gudele 2 High Lokwelili. Keep those messages coming. Hi, Radio. Yes.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening.
I'm still strong.
Yeah, I don't know. You sound low. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I changed the position now. My brother did the statement of the Secretary of the Political Affairs of the SPLM. He's very much concerned to the citizens of South Sudan. Why? It is because there are differences cause insecurity to the citizens in the end. Because many parties start from Bio to power, being as members of the SPLM by then. But it is a lack of transparency for the party who thought that for this. People are in security, people are in
You're saying, of course, parties, political parties should register